Now, you travelled over to Sydney in that third week of February, quite an exciting event really. Minister Wyatt had a round table, and it wasn't just providers around the table. Tell us a bit about that trip.
It was a national roundtable on the subject of what's called the Aged Care Reform Roadmap, which was released last year and has been developed by the industry. And Minister Wyatt, relatively new to the portfolio, wanted to get in a room with about 100 representatives. Some were from providers like ourselves, some were peak bodies, there were some consumer representative groups, and to talk about where that reform is heading and how to make it work for the people of Australia, and in our case the people of Western Australia. So I was really impressed and taken with the fact that the Minister has made a big effort to get in on the ground to understand how things really work in aged care. He clearly really feels strongly about the sector, he cares about the sector, and he wants to drive the reform agenda consistently with the ultimate goal of delivering a system which is more consumer-centric, more market-like, more efficient, more accessible. I think he truly believes in those principles, and his hope is to take that roadmap to Cabinet and have it endorsed as government policy, which would be a real achievement. Look, there was lots of people in the room, lots of views, some excitement, some anxiety. The transition through this reform is challenging, no doubt. It potentially leaves individuals, people we care for, in the lurch, and all the people in the room are conscious of trying to make sure that doesn't happen. But the reform has been consistently followed since 2011. It's actually a really strong and long sustained period for a government, in fact multiple governments, to stick to a particular agenda. And I think that kind of consistency is of great benefit to the sector and ultimately to the people who are going to need these care, which, let's face it, is just about everybody in the country.